So that's the buzz that we're picking up in the property space this time around. But when you go out looking for property, you sit and you negotiate with your developer. It's all right until that point in time. When you actually make that transaction, you realize there are so many costs that are involved, so many fees that you don't know about. So in Realty Guide this week, my colleague Tanya clears the air on all the costs that are involved when you complete your property transaction.
When it comes to property, what you see is not what you pay. While builders and promoters will advertise their properties at attractive price points, the truth is you will end up paying much more by the time you take possession of your precious investment.
90% of the builder, obviously, they try to present their basic sell price because that shows that their prices are low, because that's the trend in the market. But obviously there are certain charges which goes to approximately 7 to 8% of the basic sell price.
Just like anything you purchase, when making a property investment, you will incur certain charges that will have to be made to the government and other authorities. Home buyers will have to pay a stamp duty when they start off a registration process. The stamp duty varies from one state to the other and approximately ranges between 5 to 15% of the value of the property, which is calculated based on the circle rates that have been set by the government. It is important to note that circle rates are also referred to as guideline values or stamp duty reckoner rate. There is also a registration fee that will have to be paid at the time of the registration, which again varies in different parts of the country. The builder will also collect a service tax if your property is still under construction. The service tax will be charged at the rate of 10.3% and will be levied only on 25% of the price of the property, which eventually works out to be 2.58%. However, service tax is not applicable in case of properties that are worth less than 20 lakh rupees and also in the case of resale properties. VAT or value-added tax is also applicable in certain states of the country. For instance, home buyers will be charged 1% VAT on properties purchased in Maharashtra. Apart from these expenses, developers will also charge you an extra amount, known as the preferential location charges or PLC.
Whenever you buy a park facing, you need to pay certain charges over and above your basic sell price, maybe 50 rupees, maybe 100 rupees, maybe sometimes more. Or in Indian market, in different cities, when you go lower, you need to pay preferential location charges in terms of floor. But in certain cities, like in Mumbai, in Bangalore, in Pune, or sometimes in Gurgaon, wherever you go higher, you need to pay higher.
But that's not all. Developers will also ask for certain costs that are over and above your basic selling price. These will include an external and internal development charge, also referred to as EDC or IDC. This usually ranges between 1 to 3% of the cost of the property. You will also pay a flat amount as utility charges for water, electricity and sewage facilities. Some developers may even charge a one-time corpus fund for maintenance and upkeep of amenities within the project. Although the Supreme Court has ruled against developers collecting a separate amount for car parking space, in some cities you will still be paying for such a space since it may not be included in the FSI or floor space index. Basic charges apart, there are secondary charges too that you might incur while finalizing your property deal, such as loan processing fees, inspection fees, legal fees, brokerage charges and more. But do remember that laws and practices may vary from one place to another, so seeking legal help may just be a good idea.